Have you ever wondered how you could lose fat and build muscle both at the same time? Our client Cindy achieved exactly this in less than 6 months, and in this video, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to teach you the exact process that we use to not just create this recomposition that you see right here, but why and how this process was the precursor to her being able to go on and lose 50 pounds in the next 6 months after this recomposition. So if you have goals to recomp, lose fat and build muscle, or just in general, lose fat and build muscle, pay close attention and make sure you take notes throughout this video. First and foremost, we have to see if you are in a position to be able to even produce a body recomposition. The fact of the matter is not everybody can recomp, but if that were the case, then there would be no such thing as either a fat loss phase or a muscle gain phase. In Cindy's case, she'd been training for years and years, but no matter what, it just never seemed like she could fully break through and see the results that she wanted to see in the mirror. And she just thought that if I just get leaner, if I do more diets, if I do more deficits, then I'll finally get to where I want to be. But that actually ended up leaving her pretty stuck. The photo on the left here, Cindy was 6 months into a diet that was at a complete standstill. I'm talking low carb, low calorie, hours on the stair stepper a week, training really beginning to feel like shit, and numbers really starting to go down, and strength beginning to go away. If you feel like no matter how much fat you lose, you keep hitting plateaus too easily, and you still are not seeing the muscle definition that you want to see even when the scale goes down, you are likely a fit for a recomp, but let's really confirm that. So the way I just described Cindy, this is the person that is just stuck perpetually dieting. By that I mean every year you end up just looking the same because you're stuck gaining and losing the same amount of weight every single year. Gaining and losing the same 15 to 20 pounds. So let's say you do lose 15 to 20 pounds and you look a little bit leaner, but again, still not to the pinnacle, to the peak that you visualize for yourself that is lean, strong, muscular, defined, great shape to your physique. And even though you're just pushing for that, at some point, the deficit just becomes tiresome. It becomes hard to adhere to. You become extremely food focused. You become less social, more irritable, tired, and it doesn't become worth it to just continue the diet. So you pull out and you end up gaining the 15 to 20 pounds you just lost way too quickly. If you are this person and you've found yourself in this cycle for too long, the truth is you've yet to spend intentional time building both muscle and your metabolism in between these dieting attempts to properly recover. If it were the case, you'd not look the same every time you'd lost 15 to 20 pounds. You'd look sharper and better each time you did. Here's the thing that you need to really keep in mind about more muscle tissue on your frame. One, the more muscle tissue that you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate is, meaning you end up burning more calories at rest and meaning you have a faster metabolism. Two, with more muscle, let's say that you're 180 pounds with more muscle mass and 180 pounds with less muscle mass. Version A of you will actually appear leaner due to muscle mass being more dense than fat mass. And let's say, again, version A, 180 pounds, version B, 180 pounds, version A with just more muscle, version B with less. Even if version A gets up to 190 and increases their body fat percentage, the likelihood that they still look leaner, even at a higher body fat percentage, is very, very likely. All in all, with more muscle, you become more efficient with burning and using calories actively throughout the day. Meaning that typically the person that has more muscle mass can consume more calories. Let's use fat loss, for example. This individual can eat more calories in their fat loss diet, making it A, more sustainable, and B, more effective. Which is why it's so important in between diets to be able to build muscle mass and recomp. So if you've not spent intentional time recovering your metabolism, purposely trying to gain muscle coming out of these fat loss phases, you're likely in a position where you can create a recomposition right now, just like Cindy did. Second, beginners. I have a take on this though. A common misconception is that anybody that's not a beginner in training cannot create a recomposition. And that could not be more than false. Now, when it comes to beginners, they can practically stare at a barbell and drink whey protein powder 1 to 2 times a day and build muscle mass. And while it is true that the more progress that you make and the more muscle mass that you add, the harder it becomes to continue building it, and making progress. Most people, even 5 to 10 years in their training journeys, still train like beginners and have not accumulated all too much time pairing really high quality, hard training with structured, diligent, and consistent nutrition. This was the case for Cindy when she came to us. Training this hard was not even a possibility with as little calories as she was eating and how shot her metabolism was from all the dieting, number one. But number two, she had also not been trained to train with proper intensity and excellent technique like you see on the screen right now. To build muscle and to recomp, you must demand your body to do so. So when you decide to stop going through the motions with your training and leaving 4, 5, 6, 7 reps in the tank away from failure, this can lead to pretty rapid muscle gain progress and a recomposition. Even for clients like Joe, who's been training for 15 years, with just these differences that you see on the screen here in his training, he was able to make this transformation in 1 year. So no, I don't want to hear that you're too advanced to be able to see a recomposition. Unless again, you've spent years training with excellent technique, excellent training intensity, excellent programming, while pairing that with very consistent nutrition intake. So just by fine tuning both your training and your nutrition, you can still recomp, even with years of experience. And that's exactly what we do in the first 90 days with every client that comes into the envelope, no matter the experience. Third, the next person that can recomp is the person that still lives in their glory days. And by that I mean the person that just is obsessed with looking at old photos of themselves, but maybe not so obsessed. They look at them and they're like depressed about it, but like you're still obsessed about it. You're posting throwbacks on your Instagram stories. Shout out to when I was shredded. Shout out to when I was jacked. Miss these days, gotta bring this back. Fuck, maybe it's your first photo on Tinder and you're catfishing motherfuckers. You can only ride that out for so long. You can only avoid taking photos of yourself in the present day and, you know, squeezing behind all your friends in the group photos for so long. Now, the good thing here is that you have a lot of upside if you've been in better shape before. All you really need to do to get that back, it's not like your body forgot that phase of your life. Just get your ass back on track with training and nutrition. That's it. Fourth, now let's address the person who can't recomp. And if you clicked on this video, I don't know if that's you. Because the person that can't recomp is the person that's been doing things damn near perfectly for years upon years. I would call them a true professional. And even for someone like Joe, who you look at and like, that has to be a true professional, you'd be mind blown to see what people are really leaving on the table. So unless you've been giving it everything that you have, the good news is you can recomp. Now that that's out of the way, let's teach you how to do it. There's going to be 3 main drivers that will help you lose fat and build muscle at the same time. 1, of course, is training. 2, of course, is nutrition. And 3, of course, is consistency. I know that sounds so fucking simple and so boring, but the key is I'm talking about training, not working out. The key is I'm talking about eating enough food to recover from that hard training, not just eating healthy. So yes, it's a matter of both quality and quantity, and being consistent doing the right things, not consistent doing all the wrong things that have left you in a plateau, but the things that are going to drive the needle forward. Cindy came to us eating well under 1,800 calories a day when she started. She wasn't eating enough to recover from her training. She was months upon months into a deficit. Her strength was dipping, and as a byproduct, she was going through the motions with her training, meaning that she was just really exercising at best, not really training, and demanding her muscle to stick around or therefore even build. And consistency was really slipping because progress wasn't happening. And over time, when we really become stagnant, we don't see a lot of progress. Consistency just becomes really, really fucking hard. Because when there's not a lot of progress to show for, there's not a big compelling reason to keep doing the same things. So what we did is from start to finish, we brought her calories from 1,800 up to 2,500 in less than 6 months, again, producing this body recomposition that you see on the screen. So first things first, to accomplish this recomposition, we had to get Cindy recovering from her training again. So that way she could build muscle and as a byproduct, build her metabolism back up. So the first thing that we actually had to do was bring her training volume down. to allow her body some rest from all the training and dieting stress that has accumulated on her body over years and upon months and even years of her trying to diet down, just get leaner and leaner and leaner. In doing so, by bringing her training volume down, this gave us the opportunity to focus on quality instead of quantity and pair both excellent training technique with the right amount of intensity to demand growth. How do you define that? Well, standard, consistent, full range of motion all the way throughout every single working set. That way we're training the full volume of the target muscle that we're trying to train and pushing each set without that technique breaking down once it gets hard, very close to failure. Meaning, yes, the final couple reps of her sets were slowing down by nature, but she had to maintain a ton of discipline to keep her technique strict and not give up. As a byproduct of focusing just on these things, Cindy's training started progressing again and challenging her and started to challenge her in new ways simply due to the improvements in quality of training. Hunger started to come up as a byproduct of that. This was simply a signal of communication from her body saying, hey dude, you've been eating such a little amount for such a long time, and you've been trying to get me to make progress in the gym, but I just haven't had the energy this whole time. And I've been telling you that I'm tired, been telling you that I'm fatigued. I haven't been able to keep up with your progressions because I'm just trying to tell you that I just haven't had enough to recover. But now that you're listening and you brought training volume down and you started giving me more food, holy shit, can we keep this going? Can I have more to make up for all this time that we've spent dieting down and pushing me hard? As we improved her ability to recover, we simply improved Cindy's ability to add and accumulate more muscle tissue. And as a byproduct, start burning more calories at rest. For such a long time, Cindy's body had been trained to just preserve as much energy as possible. Try and burn as little amount of calories as possible as a protective mechanism. To try and again communicate to her, hey, stop, I don't want to be here. I want more food. I want to recover from training. I want to feel alive. I want energy. What you see here is Cindy's very started photo. She's 160 pounds, eating 1,800 calories. What's crazy is in this photo here, you see her also at 160 pounds, this time eating 2,500 calories. So let's show you guys what went into that. So here we can see Cindy's calendar. And this is where training, nutrition, everything's assigned. This is where we're collecting data from body weight to progress photos to biofeedback, so on, so forth. And as you can see, we're sub 2,000 calories and we're actually hanging out around 160, sometimes even upwards to 165, just depending on the day of the week, just depending on fluctuation. Fluctuation is typically normal in this case. In through diligence and just consistently tracking her food, getting into the gym, we go into August, okay? We go into September, okay? Calories are beginning to make their climb. As we're going into October here, we're really aiming to just slowly nudge her calories up, okay? From 1,800 now up to 2,100. The rubric that we're actually showing you on the screen here is what we use to really understand her needs and make adjustments as we move forward. Like, did you gain or did you lose body weight? In the event that Cindy would gain body weight, then we would just hold it steady for about 1, 2, 3 weeks. See if we adapted to that, see if body weight came down. If it stayed up, cool. There's no adjustments that we need to make. We're not going to really bring it up. But if she started losing body weight at that amount of calories, okay, now we could see, all right, we're becoming a little bit more adapted to that amount of calories. We're becoming a little bit more efficient at burning calories in a resting state right now. We're recovering really well from training. Maybe we're good to go ahead and bump up again, right? That's another thing that we look at. Hey, are we recovering well from training? Because she was out of sub 1,800 calories, she was recovering a little bit better and better every single week, every single month. We'd also take a look at hunger. Hey, Cindy, are you hungry right now? The funny thing is, you'd think that as we start bringing calories up, she'd be getting more full and more satiated. Well, from 1,800 up to 2,100, once she really made that first initial jump, that's when she started feeling a lot more hungry, right? Again, this was her body communicating to her and being like, hey, like, this is just like a little bit more food, but like we got some making up to do. I've been doing a lot of dieting, but now that I've gotten a little bit of a taste of more, let's keep this coming. So hunger would shoot up. Great. Is body weight still the same? We're still hanging out around 160? Cool. Visuals. When we look at progress photos, are we visibly tighter, visibly leaner, right? Are we gaining body fat? Are we gaining body water? In Cindy's case, no, we weren't seeing increases in body water and water retention or even fat gain. She was really just maintaining weight at about 160 really well. And so if visuals are good and we're hungry, right, we can definitely add in a little bit more food. Digestion-wise, even with the increase in food, are we digesting food very well? That's something that's important to go ahead and take a look at. If we're not digesting good, let's take a look at food sources. Let's take a look at food quality. Is there anything we need to improve here? Okay, are we a little bit too satiated right now? Just in that increase of calories. Maybe we need to bring them down. Maybe we just need to hold here and let you adjust for a little bit. Are baseline lifestyle habits in order? And in Cindy's case, we're weighing in, we're tracking our food, we're hitting our training sessions, we're getting our progress photos. So absolutely, yes, baseline lifestyle habits are in order. We are sleeping. We are getting in daily activity. And again, we're seeing nothing but positive return in terms of her training. As you can see here, towards the end of November, we're still right around 160 pounds. Her calories are climbing up. We're at 2,400 calories now, so we're up about 600 total calories. And we look at her photos, we're visibly leaner, even at the same body weight. And these are all signs that we're good to keep going. And for Cindy, she was still maintaining hunger cues. We weren't pushing her to the place of too full. We're just keeping her right in the middle to where we're noticing a good amount of hunger. We're still hungry going into that next meal of the day. This is exactly where we want to be. We don't want to push it overboard, where there's room to add more calories. Still hungry and we're still progressing in training. Damn, you want to keep developing tissue. Damn, you want to keep building muscle. Damn, you want to keep building metabolism. Let's listen to how your body's responding and how it's communicating. Let's also teach you as an athlete how to get in tune with your body and your own biofeedback, because that is a lifelong skill set that you'll be able to take with you for the rest of your life to not only sustain results, but continue making them on your own, which to this day, Cindy is doing on her own. Here's the thing to understand about this recomposition process, guys. It's not just a before and after. You can see Cindy's diligence and consistency for months to create that transformation. And again, in this before and after, you see a leaner physique, you see a more muscular physique. But it's not just that, guys. It's a foundation. It's a standard for how you show up as an athlete, not only in the gym, but in your lifestyle. Creating this kind of recomposition through diligence in training, nutrition, and consistency, and just getting your shit in order really builds habits and standards and rituals that naturally just facilitate success in whatever direction comes next. And in Cindy's case, she still wanted to achieve a leaner physique, but now she was in a place where she was recovered and more primed and ready to facilitate that progress than ever. So she went on to lose 50 pounds and win first place at her first ever show. The recomp was the phase that broke her perpetual fat loss plateau. The recomp was the phase that ended the cycle of losing and gaining the same amount of weight each year just to look the same. The thing to understand though is that a recomp is not a lifelong result. At some point, you're gonna plateau and you can't just keep eating the same amount of calories and the same amount of food and expect to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. In most cases, it's about 3 to 6 months long, and it just leads you to the point to where you choose one of two paths. Am I gonna just keep gaining muscle and keep riding this out, or am I gonna go lose fat? If you need further guidance on how to choose the best transformation phase for you, whether that's a gaining phase, a dieting phase, or a recomp, go ahead and head to our channel and click this video right here that teaches you how to choose the best transformation phase for your body type. Something to also understand here is that because Cindy learned how to recomp, what do you think we did after she lost the 50 pounds? We literally applied the same approach that we took on the recomp. That's it. She successfully recovered from that diet. She didn't gain all of her weight back. She didn't go back to square one. And just like we did in the first recomp, she gained muscle, more muscle coming out of that last diet. Because she learned how to do that, she can just make progress year over year over year. So yeah, you could say that learning how to do this through experience, through accomplishing it, is crucial when it comes to not just learning how to sustain results for the rest of your life, but create them for the rest of your life. If this was helpful, please drop a like on this video, comment down below, let us know how it helped you. We want to keep these videos coming to you. And if you have any more questions or need any more guidance, go ahead and head over to my Instagram @ChadMorganFit, shoot me a DM, ask me any question you have, and we'll see what we can do to help you.